I'd like to call this special meeting of the November 4th school board meeting to order. Before we proceed, I'd like to ask Mr. Oakland to say the pledge, please. Everyone stand. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you, Mr. Oakland. Let the record show that all school board members are present except Mr. Dennis Narcan, along with our superintendent and our board secretary, Michelle Babineau. The first item on the agenda is 2.01, our sales tax holiday resolution. And I'd like to ask Mr. Jerry Robichaud if you would read that resolution, please.
My pleasure, Mr. President. Whereas the St. Charles Parish School Board administers the sales and use tax ordinances in effect in St. Charles Parish, Louisiana, and the Uniform Local Sales Tax Code adopted as Act 73 of 2003 and other laws, and collects sales and use tax for all local taxing authorities within the parish. And whereas St. Charles Parish School Board enacts a resolution in accordance with the act which originated as Senate Bill 272 of the 2007 regular session of the Louisiana Legislature to provide for an annual St. Charles Parish sales tax holiday. Whereas sales and use tax imposed by the political subdivision shall not apply to the same purchases at the same time according to the same definitions and procedures under the same conditions, and exempting the same amount of sales price or cost price of tangible personal property as provided for in that act, which originated as Senate Bill number 3 of the 2007 regular session of the Louisiana Legislature, which provided for the annual Louisiana sales tax holiday on the first consecutive Friday and Saturday of August each year, that which has been suspended. Whereas, in lieu of the annual sales tax holiday in August, HB 26 of the 2020 second extraordinary session, which became Act 16, proposes to establish the sales tax holiday to occur on November 20th and 21st of 2020. Instead, as a result of the Hurricane Laura and the COVID-19 pandemic. Whereas, notwithstanding any other provisions of law to the contrary, the sales tax levied by the parish of St. Charles, its political subdivisions, whose boundaries are contemporary with those of the parish, shall not apply to the first $2,500 of the sales price or cost price of any customer purchases of tangible personal property that occurred during the period as provided November 20th and 21st of 2020. Whereas of purposes of this resolution, the St. Charles Parish sales tax holiday will be enforced in accordance with the terms and provisions of Louisiana Revised Statute 47:305.74 if enacted. Now, therefore, be it resolved that it is the intention of the school board to abate local sales taxes in accordance with LA RS 47:305.74 for same purchases at the same time according to the same procedures and under the same conditions described thereon. The foregoing have been submitted to a vote, and a quorum being present, and by majority vote in favor thereof, the foregoing resolution was declared adopted, and I move approval.
Second. It's been moved by Mr. Robichaud, second by somebody down this way.
I did.
By Mr. Suffering. Before I call for discussion, I'd just like to note that during the rationale, I think you covered everything in your presentation, Mr. Robichaud, and this agenda item is aligned with Goal C of our strategic plan. So anybody has any questions or comments?
No, I wanted to say just that in this whole big old long thing, just for public knowledge, we're having a sales tax holiday the
Same
same
time.
time the state's having a sales tax holiday. So in our parish, both the state and local sales tax are
Exempted.
are not being collected for November 20th and 21st.
21st, correct. Superintendent, any comments?
No, sir.
All right, there being
I
no...
have a
Mr.
question.
Alexander.
What does all of those same purchases at the same time, according to the same procedure, under the same conditions, what does that mean?
That's lawyer speak. Yes, it is.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes, Paula Johnson. What that means is that the state has outlined what the criteria are for the sales tax holiday when purchases qualify, and we have to follow in the same manner, the same purchases at the same time, the same rules.
I think the rules were it can't be an automobile, correct?
Right.
It can't be an automobile, it can't be commercial purchases, it can't be anything, any item over 2,500, so if it's a set or something, it can't be broken up so that it meets the criteria.
Right.
It doesn't apply to restaurants, and things like that.
Right. There was a cap on the purchases that would
And I also
qualify.
want to mention that some of our businesses, it might cost them too much to change their register, but they could also come into our office and get a refund for the local taxes.
Okay, that's good. As long as we note that for the public and for the business folks in the parish.
And earlier this week, I called and talked to Paula and asked her, does this apply to online purchases? And she said, as long as it's on the same days.
And it's delivered in the.
And it's under
And it's
2,500.
delivered in the parish.
And it's under the cap.
Yeah.
Right.
2,500.
Just wanted
Okay.
y'all to know that in case.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Alexander. Any other discussion? If not, I'll call for a vote. We doing electronic,
Yes.
Madam Secretary?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Please cast your vote. All right.
I don't have it on.
You have to get out of the, resolution
Let's see.
at the top.
Got
Close
it.
your resolution, John, and see if
Got it.
He got it.
Got it?
Mhm.
Let the record show that motion carries unanimously, but Mr. Knockham being absent. Next item on the agenda is 3.01, the 2020-2021 school calendar revision proposal. Let's see if I can pop this up here. All right. Due to Hurricanes Laura, Marco, Sally, Delta, and Zeta, schools and school board offices were closed 11 days during the fall semester of the 2020-2020 school session. This resulted in a loss of 9 instructional days. Additional modification of the currently proposed 2020-2021 school session calendar is needed to ensure that high school students receive the minimum number of instructional minutes to earn Carnegie credits, and lost instructional minutes for all students is recuperated. District administration met and developed a plan that maximizes instructional minutes while also taking into consideration district and stakeholder impact of modifications to the 2020 and 2021 school session calendar. The recommendation is that we approve the 2020-2021 school session calendar revision proposal. Superintendent?
Thank you, Mr. President. This recommendation came after a lot of discussion with our administrative staff and heavy consideration for our families as well as our employees, with careful consideration to plans that are already made from the current calendar. Obviously, we needed to make up these additional days to ensure that our high school students earn the Carnegie credits. We had to make 2 days during the fall semester. Additionally, part of the recommendation, which I'll read here in a minute for those changes, would recoup an additional day in the spring semester, just in case anything else were to occur as well. So this recommendation would add 2 additional actually 3 total additional instructional days to our calendar, but unfortunately it would remove 2 days during the Thanksgiving holidays. So with the recommendation, we would recommend to change November 23rd and 24th to full instructional days. These were previous holidays. We would change the end of the third quarter for high schools from November 17th to November 19th. We would extend the fall semester to January 8th. We would change the following early release days to full instructional days. For elementary and middle school, January 15th and February 5th. And for high school, January 27th, February 10th, March 3rd, and April 21st. Thank you, Mr. President.
All right, thank you, Superintendent. Any discussion by the board?
I have a question.
Mr. Alexander?
Mr. Superintendent, you said the second change the end of the third quarter for high schools from November 17th to November 19th. Does each semester have 4 quarters?
Yes, sir. So both schools now on a block schedule, so therefore they have 4 quarters for each semester of the school year.
Okay.
Last year would have been different, but this year they're both on the same schedule.
Not aware of that.
Yes, sir.
So Superintendent, looking at the number of minutes we always were scheduling ahead, have we used up those minutes for this decision to be made in the proper way we have it now?
Correct. We were completely out of minutes. So at that point in time, we could not afford, we had to make those 2 days up so that our high school students could earn credit at the end of this semester.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, any other discussion by the board before I call for a vote? All right, there being none, please cast your vote.
You haven't had a motion yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. Somebody wants to make a motion?
I move.
Second.
It's moved by Mr. Smith, seconded by Mrs. Bernard. Any discussion or further discussion? There being none, please cast your vote.
Get out of that other window.
So in spite of those faux pas, it passes unanimously. All right.
Move adjourn.
Thank you very much. There's a motion to adjourn by Mr. Robichaud, seconded by Mr. Oakland. There'll be no discussion. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Voice vote is good. This motion is now over. This school board meeting is now adjourned.